A month ago I revealed I was working on animations. Let's see how far we progressed. Well, actually I didn't make that much because I was torn between two mindsets. For example, here's one bit here that caused a lot of doubt. For example, when I looked at this face and looked at this eyes, when I'm looking at it right now, it's like it doesn't feel like it's that bad in my head. But then there are other times where I looked at it and I'm like, oh my god, it's literally cursed. It's a cursed face. And so I thought, oh well, we'll just see what we can do either way. So I had to go with trying to create like better quality faces. I always noticed that eyes were a massive weak point for me, and the first thing I tried was searching up YouTube tutorials on how to draw good eyes, and it helped out a little bit I guess, but not much. And I got a second one here which I tried again. This one looked a bit better but still not that great. And then I thought, rather than trying to make small improvements, I should change my style completely, and so I started searching up face references. I found this one which I was pretty happy with and decided I'd have a go with it. I used paint.net to create much smoother lines, and I essentially just traced over all of these different lines, and then after that I filled in like the colours. And then by creating these ones here I was able to use that to create another one. So for example, this one here we've got, he's looking straight forwards completely at the front and flat. Essentially what I did is I just pasted that picture into paint and then increased the size of it to match the scale of what was the original one here. And then over this one I traced this one here to get like more sharper lines and stuff. And so I've got like the traced lines here and then filled in the colours afterwards. And after that I put in the eyes as well. And then after putting it all together we got this here. And after doing this drawing, I was so thrilled I decided to go absolutely to town of experimenting around with this drawing. So it's like in the desert climate, in like normal daytime, in like the icy cold area, and at night time. So that was pretty fun. So if I can really get a hang of like shading and lighting, maybe I can use that more consistently. And of course, by drawing a new face that I thought was better than my old one, inevitably the question came, should I do a new profile picture? And so I was thinking maybe I could change to this one, or maybe I could change to this one, but without this background probably. I personally like this one the most, but I'm always interested to hear other people's feedback. So up until now, pretty much only really talked about drawing. So now I want to talk about how I've applied my most recent knowledge to try and do better animations. So if we go back to the perspectives here, we can see we've got a side one where he's going from the side, so trace that side one, and then we've got this image here where he's looking to the side, it's like, or where you can view him from the side. So then I flip this image horizontally so he's looking to the right instead of the left. So I just drew the background really quickly and the face really quickly as well. So this is what it was like, and then we've got this one here. I haven't bothered with editing the background's still the same. You can see now it's got the new face in, and then I also did a little bit of basic stuff with animating the hair. See, we've got two different frames for what the hair is like. So then I can alternate between these two frames, so it's like the hair is like lightly blowing through the wind, and then we got this blue background for like the blue screen as well. So and I'll show you why I'm using a blue screen. And so for example here we've just got the background image by itself, and then on top of here we've got a separate layer of the hair flowing. And essentially what we've done is that we've got the, if I remove the background remover, you can see we've got an animation there of his head, of his hair flowing. And then by adding the background remover we can get rid of that light blue. There's a teeny little bit you can see on like the edge and stuff, but not much I can do about that unfortunately. And then we've got the shift which makes it move to the left, so now you can sort of see his head will be constantly moving to the left at like a very slow rate. And then once we've done all of that, this is what it looks like playing at full speed. So we get this up, and now we can see that his hair is flowing and moving slowly to the left. Now of course this is a very basic animation, and if you've known me for long enough then you'll probably know that I want to do animations of running around and stuff, and that's a lot more complex to do than like a still shot. So I do have a few of those which I've done. So one really interesting one I want to show you is this shot here. So here is the template. You can see we've got our template of the character, if I can find the correct layer. So pretty much my plan was to have the character who would like run sort of like this, except at like a very quick speed. I wasn't sure exactly how to draw the arms and legs, but then I thought of trying another method that works surprisingly well. So we've got the template here, and then I just created like a duplicate of the template, same thing. And the thing is that the face looks awful, but it doesn't matter, and the reason why is because we're actually going to blur it. Or well, we did blur it, it's the past tense, it's not happening right now. But essentially we'd have different frames here, so that's the first frame blurred. and we'd have another one here where it's blurred there, and then another one right down there. And then I was also able to put like a little bulge distort effect, which is how I was able to make it a bit curved. And then after that I was able to add a couple of extra in between, so I've got the second frame which is right there, and the fourth frame which is right there. And so essentially I had 5 frames going all like that, and then having them all play it quickly, and having them all play at a quick speed allowed it to create this effect where it's just like all through. And the only bad thing about it currently is that it's not very easy to see, in the sense of that if you're sort of like half watching the animation, it's like, unless you're like really concentrating on the animation and like your eyes are glued to the screen, there's like a good chance that you might miss him running past completely. And what I mean by that is, well, just allow me to show you. For example, I've got the video clip here, and try to watch him run past. It goes like pretty quickly. So it's like it doesn't have much of an impact, and it's very easy to miss. In order to solve this, I'd probably add some sort of air particles, like some sort of circle air effect going like past him like a ring of speed, sort of similar to what I did in this shot here, where he's running and you can see that massive circle. And another thing that's fun to talk about is how some of the shots are really complex and some of them are really simple. So for example, this one was one of the more complex ones. And this is the full clip here. He's sort of running, bobbing his head, and then he starts running a bit more forwards. The first thing I had to do was to create an animation of the backgrounds. I've got those 2 different frames for the guardrail, and if we find the mountain vertical lines, and essentially we'd switch between those 2 frames to essentially create the illusion that he's sort of going around a continuous curve. Then we had to export that as one separate video. So we had one separate video file of just the background being animated, and then after that we added in a blue screen and had another separate video of just my character running. And then I had to combine those 2 video files together. We have a short zoom in where his face zooms in really quickly, and then after that his face sort of stays at the same point. And then we've got another zoom in later on where it's more of a gradual zoom in. And then some of them are also really simple. So for example, we've got the next shot after that, which is incredibly simple, where we've literally just got 2 pictures. We've got this one there. And then this is what I was talking about with like just relaxing and just being dumb. Obviously like if you compare that to like something that's actually good, obviously it's like complete garbage, but then it's just because it's like the internet. So yeah, we'd have like that frame there. Oh wait, if I delete that one temporarily I can show you the difference. There we go. So it'd have those 2 frames which would alternate between, and it would literally just be those 2 frames. I'll try and do it. That's a really quick preview of what it's like. And here is the same original animation that I've been working on, and then so I've done like a bunch of these shots so far, but you can see ahead I've also got a load of template shots where essentially all I've really done is just drawn the background and then haven't really done anything other than that. But for example, like whenever I want, I could like come back and go to like animate this one. I'm thinking I might try the same blur tactic where it would just like go down like this, and then this one would be more similar to the 4th shot where he's like you can really see his whole body up close and stuff. So like this one, you can really see his whole body. That would probably be a more similar shot to this one, where he'd probably stay in like a pretty similar position, but then we'd have like it all animated, so it like creates that like feeling of like, and conveying that it's more of like a continuing curved route, so it doesn't look like he's just like running at the same spot. And don't mind I haven't drawn the road line, I'll get to that. And of course all of these roads are like linked to one another. So for example, I've got here which is a corner, and then a straightaway, and then another shot of a straightaway, and then going into another corner, and then going like continuing around the corner, coming out of the corner onto a new straightaway and another corner, which then links to here, going around there, linking to here, going around there, linking onto that another straightaway, and then linking onto the multiple choice, and then linking, and then this is the right side, going down there, which then, and then that goes into that tunnel, and then that coming out of that tunnel goes down there. And then here's a bit where like there's like a separate bridge that like branches off from like the original mountain. And then here's like a really badly drawn ramp, which probably try and redo that ramp if I can. And here's another thing that I think is pretty kind of cool. And pretty much this is another sort of template thing where It allows me to sort of structure out the area that I'm animating more clearly, and the main reason why I did this is just because there's like a lot of straightaways and corners and stuff, and it's all on a mountain, and it's sort of like a lot of them are quite like up close, so it's sort of like it's like there's not really any way of like looking at the whole thing from a distance. And so for example here we've got like, these are all numbered, these are all boxes, so here we've got like this line is like the path of the road, and then these boxes sort of like they vaguely indicate like the radius of the different shots. So for example we've got like shot 2, shot 3, shot 4, shot 5, shot 6, shot 7, 8, 9, etc. And the reason why I wanted to sort of do this design like this is that it's essentially a way of preventing any sort of like crossovers. For example, this path of the line, for example, if I had too many like right turns, then it would go down to the right and it would like cross through this bit here, which is like an that wouldn't make sense unless there was some kind of elevation or like decrease in elevation, and then it would go that same direction. And so by essentially like by like sort of like vaguely mapping out the area, it just allows me to prevent collisions like that. I've made a bonus little edit thing. It's not for complete animation, but it's just like a bunch of stuff. It's just all of my video files like compiled together, get some nice music over it and stuff, just so you've got like a little something that you can watch and enjoy.